including a pair of gloves, quoting here, to a guy named Furman, believe it or not. A plaintiff's attorney asked, "You're not saying you gave away a pair of Eris light gloves to Mr. Furman, are you?" Simpson's attorney told his client not to answer the question, adding, quote, "That's a great question, though." Simpson also said he was a controlling person, adding that, quote, "People who come into my life tend to conform to the way I do things." Asked, "Did Nicole conform?" Simpson replied, "Yes. Not the last year we were together, but certainly before she did, yes." Simpson also denied accounts in his ex-wife's diary that he threatened her just days before she was killed. In other trial news, jurors deliberating the second Menendez murder trial have adjourned for the weekend. Brothers Eric and Lyle Menendez are accused of the 1989 shotgun slayings of their wealthy parents. Separate juries assigned to each brother deadlocked in 1994. A single jury was chosen for their second trial, and they got the case yesterday afternoon. Prosecutors contend greed motivated the killings. Defense lawyers, however, contend the brothers were sexually and emotionally abused. Jury deliberations resume on Monday. Jurors are hearing Dr. Jack Kevorkian testify in his own defense. Charged with helping two people kill themselves in 1995, the retired pathologist will continue his testimony on Monday. We get more now from CNN's Ed Garston.
The jury.
Under questioning from his defense attorney, a relaxed but passionate Jack Kevorkian explained his intentions are not to help people die.
What do you intend by aiding the suffering?
To alleviate the pain and suffering in accordance with the autonomous wish of the patient who is fully informed of all options and procedures.
Now, Dr. Kevorkian, with all due respect, you don't really intend to end pain and suffering. You really just want the patient to die. Isn't that true?
No.
Have you ever desired that a patient die?
Never.
Kevorkian is charged with breaking Michigan's now expired ban on assisted suicides by attending the deaths of ALS patient Marion Frederick and bone cancer victim Dr. Ali Khalili in 1993, when the law was still in force. Both died in Kevorkian's apartment after inhaling carbon monoxide gas by pulling a clip from a hose connected to a canister. The prosecution must prove he provided the gas or took part in the suicide. Kevorkian denies both.
Who pulled the clip?
The patient in each instance.
Did you pull the clip?
No.
In denying that he took any physical part in both suicides, Kevorkian also provided the missing link. Who had actually provided the canisters of lethal carbon monoxide gas? It revealed it was his longtime associate, pharmaceutical salesman Neil Nickel. But on a more personal level, Kevorkian said he performs his services for free because he doesn't need the money, even though he buys his clothes at the Salvation Army. And he said the aim of his services is certainly not to cause death.
Now, if that were my aim, would I cry? Would I have pain and anguish? Does one strive to achieve what one strives to achieve? Would he strive to achieve something that causes him pain and anguish? No.
Kevorkian will complete his testimony Monday. Ed Garston, CNN, Pontiac, Michigan.
Coming up on CNN, a key White House aide comes forward with more information about the Whitewater affair. We'll have the latest on what investigators are looking for. Also, when things go wrong in prison, it seems the first thing inmates do is sue. We'll find out why some states are trying to slow down the number of suits.
Lower your right foot and repeat after me. I promise to be free. I promise to be different. I promise to take the other path. I promise to be unique. I promise to drive an Eldorado with a 300-horsepower North Star V8, a suspension that reads faster than Evelyn Wood, and a body that parts traffic. Eldorado with the North Star system by Cadillac.
Important news from Cardism CD.
Ready for our walk?
Yes. Where did this come from?
Oh, that's the Carter-Sense newsletter. It's free with my Cardism CD prescription.
This article on walking is really interesting.
Yeah, we're exercising more and eating better.
Ask your doctor about Cardism CD and the Carter-Sense newsletter. And call 1-800-664-3800 for one free copy of Carter-Sense. Cardism CD and Carter-Sense.
Wherever you're waking up, there's freshly brewed coffee by the cup. Folgers Coffee Singles is ground roast Folgers in its own filter for one great cup. Anywhere. Best part of waking up is Singles in your cup.
At BASF, we don't make the skates, we make them ride smoother. We don't make the car, we make it more colorful. We don't make the shampoo, we make it gentler. We don't make the helmet, we make it more comfortable. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Tonight on Larry King Weekend, the director of film classics like The Birdman of Alcatraz, The Manchurian Candidate, and The Iceman Cometh. A look at John Frankenheimer's career and his latest project, Andersonville. Tonight, 9 Eastern on CNN.
A former pro basketball player is charged with robbing a White House lawyer at gunpoint. Charles Hawkeye Whitney was arrested Thursday when a policeman recognized him from a photo authorities had circulated. Whitney is accused of abducting counsel Mark Fabriani last January as he walked home from a subway stop. Fabriani was forced to withdraw $1,600 from 2 automatic teller machines. Police say they're still looking for a second suspect. More documents concerning the Whitewater affair are being sent to the Senate Banking Committee, which is investigating the failed Arkansas land deal. Senior Clinton aide Bruce Lindsay gave the committee 2 pages of notes from a key November 1993 White House strategy meeting on Whitewater. In mid-January, Lindsay testified he didn't remember taking any specific notes at the meeting. Well, with courts straining under an overload of lawsuits, Congress and some states are hoping to remove some legal clutter. They're trying to reduce frivolous lawsuits that bog down the legal system. But CNN's Don Knapp reports that prisoner advocates worry that inmates could lose an important recourse.
A soggy sandwich for lunch. Peanut butter that's smooth, not chunky. When things don't go well in prison, inmates do what it seems just about everyone else does these days. They sue over everything from cruel and unusual punishment to sex change operations and high-top sneakers. The state calls most prisoner lawsuits frivolous and wants to make it harder for prisoners to sue.
We would allow a court to make the determination that there is a frivolous nature of it and attach penalties to it.
California's Attorney General says it costs prisoners nothing to file, but says his office spends $10 million a year fighting prisoner suits. Frivolous, perhaps, but prison rights advocates say restricting prisoner suits would squelch legitimate complaints.
That includes the notorious case of Pelican Bay, where the judge found horrendous conditions, violence that was rampant.
Among the state's examples, death row inmate Rodney Alcala. He claimed the state violated his rights when it made him send packages UPS rather than the U.S. mail. And Lawrence Bittaker, also on death row, who sued over a soggy sandwich and a broken cookie.
This is all prisoner litigation. Our entire section is devoted to handling prisoner lawsuits.
The Attorney General's office calls 95% of prisoner suits frivolous. Lifer Carlos Garcia wanted 5 stamped envelopes. He got them after 3 administrative appeals, then sued California in the U.S. Supreme Court for $75,000. He lost.
I say the same thing that those people say to me. If you don't like the law, change it.
Congress and some states are working on laws that would make it more difficult for inmates to sue.
Another one sued because he got a stomachache after chili. Now, I don't eat chili because I get a stomachache whenever I have chili, but I don't think I ought to sue the federal government, have the taxpayers pay me money for that.
Prisoners' rights advocates say prisoners have a constitutional right to sue.
And there's a lot of things that go on in prisons that are very bad, that are hidden from the public and are only brought to light by people filing lawsuits.
But some question if a soggy sandwich is one. If the attorneys general get their way, they would not have to respond to a prisoner's suit unless requested by a court. Inmates would be allowed to file only after exhausting all administrative remedies and would stand to lose good time credits if a court decided the suits were frivolous. Don Knapp, CNN, San Francisco.
Well, what would you do if you were a surgeon and had to perform delicate heart surgery on a baby who weighed only about a pound? We'll show you when we return.
News Quiz is brought to you by Office Max.
We go to the max for you.
Re-engineering results in a paradigm shift in the corporate matrix.
What? Experiencing system overload? We're going to crash. Better click on Office Max. The office product superstore, electronics, computers, software, with great brand names like Brother or Mobilecom. At guaranteed low prices that will re-engineer your budget. You can even shop online. Get the latest business technology without even shifting your paradigm. Whatever that means. Office Max. We go to the max for you.
It's just the morning and you don't need to caffeinate it for two.
Wake up to Folgers Coffee Singles, made with ground roast decaffeinated coffee for one freshly brewed cup.
The best part of waking up
Is singles in your cup.
A bottle of soda pop contains about 85% water. And what water is in the bottles of some of the world's best-selling soft drinks?
Hey, Culligan man.
Culligan, the world's source for better water.
You close your laptop. You push back your seat and adjust your footrest. A little sip of Bordeaux, a little taste of Brie. You turn the sound up a notch, and you close your eyes. These business trips are brutal, aren't they?
This is about advanced communication technology, about what's happening today, how things like the virtual office and call centers can work for your business. But it's not about bits, bytes, bells, or whistles. This is about people who know how to listen and where to look, people who can help you put all the pieces together and even get you the hardware and software you need. This is about how simple things can be, about knowing who, about knowing how. Network MCI, that's how.
Well, a lot of customers at automatic teller machines in New York City were upset yesterday. During lunchtime, so many people attempted to use ATM machines that it caused the system to overload and reject thousands of cards. The city's machine processed 125,000 transactions between 12:15 and 1:15. An ATM official says a combination of the first day of March, Friday payday, and the day's normal high volume contributed to the problem. Well, meteorologist Dave Hennon joins us now with a look at today's weather. And Dave, it looks like the East Coast is getting some more snow. What can you tell us?
That's right, Laura. Here we go again. The same areas that have seen the heavy snow all winter long, again seeing another dose of Mother Nature and winter in the air again around New York City. Reports of snow, no reports of delays yet at the airports that we can find, but we suspect that through the day, as the snow continues, we will begin to see some delays in the Northeast. About the only rain we can find is down in Norfolk. Everything else you see is pretty much snow, and snow will be moving up the coastline today. We have snow advisories in effect around New York City, around Washington, D.C., maybe about an inch or two of snow there. Philadelphia expecting about 2 to 4 inches, a little bit higher up around New York City in the range of 3 to 5 inches. Downtown Boston could see as much as 3 or 4 inches of snow, but as you get into the northern and western suburbs, winter storm warnings are in effect for as much as 7 inches of snowfall. And right along the immediate coast and back over the Cape, look for snowfall amounts to be lighter in the range of 1 to 3 inches. Some of the precipitation may very well change over to rain before it ends in New York City and in Boston, and especially out over the Cape. As we head to the south, pretty stormy weather to start the day across much of Florida. Not into South Florida yet. Miami in the clear, as you can see by our radar picture. But on through the day, the showers and storms will be moving to the southeast, and there is a likelihood of showers and thunderstorms across South Florida. And out in advance of the cold front, which is producing the thunderstorms here, some pretty strong gusty winds, so small craft advisories are in effect for the Florida Straits today, with seas running anywhere between 4 to 6 feet. As we widen things out, show you the satellite picture. We do have a lot of cold air pouring across the midsection of the country. It'll be cold today across the upper Midwest. There'll be a few snow flurries and falling temperatures in through Wisconsin. Cities like Milwaukee and Chicago will see temperatures fall as the colder air continues to move in. Out in the west, high pressure and fairly quiet weather, but that's about to change around. You can see by our satellite picture Clouds on the increase along the California coast, and there will be some rain shower activity developing there as we head on through the next 24 to 36 hours. In fact, later today, that cold front approaching the California coast. A few showers, northern California, nothing major yet. High pressure bringing fair weather in through parts of the Midwest along with those cold temperatures. And our main storm system continues to produce mainly snow through New England, rain right along the immediate coast, and notice the cold front through South Florida, so showers and storms of likelihood in Miami for much of the day today. Sunday morning, that moves away. High pressure builds into Florida. It will be cooler there, but at least things will dry out. Windy back from the Great Lakes in through New England. In fact, very windy conditions are expected through northern New England on through the day. And by evening, things begin to quiet down in the east, but picking up more storminess in the west. Let's check now some forecasts for some cities across North America for today. More Florida weather for you, and we'll check the weather again, the snowy weather in the Northeast coming up in about an hour. Lori?
Thanks, Dave. A new AIDS drug that helps the severely ill live longer is coming to shelves soon. Yesterday, the Food and Drug Administration made ritonavir the second in a new class of drugs called protease inhibitors. Such inhibitors kill the virus that causes AIDS in a manner different than most AIDS drugs. The drug will be available within 2 weeks under the brand name Norvir. FDA advisors yesterday also recommended approval of another drug. The agency is expected to decide on that drug by this spring. Well, tiny Tanner Durham faces a second life-saving operation today. Using instruments so small they had to be special ordered, doctors first performed delicate heart surgery on Tanner yesterday. Born 3 weeks ago with multiple heart problems, Tanner weighed less than a pound. Without the surgeries, Tanner would have suffered a fatal stroke or mental retardation. He's being cared for in the University of Missouri's Children's Hospital. Well, coming up on Daybreak, we'll get the latest sports scores. And later, it's a victory for the Timberwolf. They're being reintroduced to large parts of Wisconsin after nearly being extinct. We'll have details on why it's working.
Today, in hospitals everywhere, medicine will be mixed, linens washed, and babies will get their first taste of a new world, all with the help of one company.
Hey, Culligan man.
Culligan, the world's source for better water.
We opened this business 22 years ago. She's obstinate and ornery. She's also my best friend. I guess her hands started hurting her kind of off and on back in March. She worked through it, but she was taking a lot of pills. And I said, honey, why don't you call the doctor? Well, that's who told her about a leave. You take it every 8 to 12 hours. Tylenol, I was taking up to 8 a day. With Advil, I'd take 6. Well, she tried a leave. We did a little math, found out for a whole day's relief, a leave cost half as much as Tylenol or Advil. Anyway, a leave was all she needed. Who knows? Maybe one of these days we'll stop bickering. They'll bet on it.
Aleve. All day strong, all day long.
At BASF, we don't make the cooler. We make it cooler. We don't make the jeans. We make them bluer. We don't make the toys. We make them tougher. We don't make the water scooter. We make it lighter. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
From New England to Dixie to the Washington coast, Tuesday will be the biggest test yet for the Republican candidates. And CNN will be the only network with complete team coverage, with Bernard Shaw, Judy Woodruff, and analyst Bill Schneider. And this weekend, CNN will devote its programming to an in-depth look at the candidates and the issues leading to Sunday night's live debate. For the most comprehensive coverage of Campaign 96, stay with CNN.
Police in Montgomery County, Maryland, outside of Washington, are reportedly looking for a 23-year-old medical student named Michael Caresis, who they say is a hero. The Washington Post says the student risked his own safety, saving a 54-year-old woman during that train accident 2 weeks ago in Silver Spring, Maryland. A former medical school professor says Caresis is lying low because he probably wants to fade into the background and resume a normal life. Well, once they were only a part of Wisconsin's past, a reminder of the days when it was wooded wilderness. Now wolves have come back to the Badger State. But CNN's Jeff Flock reports some of the animals are reverting to some troublesome old habits.
They're howling at the wolves. And the wolves are howling back. Nearly extinct in Wisconsin from a bounty until the 50s, timber wolves are back in the woods, hills, as well as streets and backyards.
I think they're fascinating animals. I think they have a majestic look to them, and I think they're they probably tell us a lot about ourselves.
For the last 10 years, the state of Wisconsin has been quietly watching and encouraging the wolf. Unlike the ballyhooed reintroduction plan at Yellowstone National Park, where wolves were trapped and shipped in, this program of protection and education has brought them back naturally. All they've done is keep tabs on them, tracking the wolves with radio collars, watching them from the sky, and educating the public.
To see a permanently established pack in this area is real gratifying.
But some think they've done too good a job, bringing wolves too close to civilization. Farmers are worried about their livestock, and hunters about the effect on the wolves' prey. This is part of what it means to have more wolves, more need for food, more deer killed. But wolves, even in their increased numbers in Wisconsin, only kill about 1,500 deer a year. Hunters and motorists kill 500,000 a year. A bigger problem, not timber wolves, but so-called wolf-dog hybrids that come dangerously close to people. These half-dog, half-wolf animals bred by humans and now running wild are bold.
So they were here this morning? This morning, yeah. About 7 o'clock this morning.
Scott Moan took these pictures of the wolf dogs with his own colleague.
It's back here.
What's more?
Yes, our dog has mated with the female of the group.
How do you know?
Well, we caught them.
They're actually more dangerous than a real wild timber wolf.
Bruce Willis took these pictures of his dog King playing with the wolf dog pack. Then King ran off with them.
So when they go in to get it, this door will latch, fall here.
He and the Department of Natural Resources are trying to trap these wolf dogs and move them to a wildlife center so they won't do any harm. Despite the concerns about the half-breeds, the quiet comeback of the timber wolf seems to be a victory. A victory mostly for nature over human nature. I'm Jeff Flock, CNN in Grantsburg, Wisconsin.
And that's Daybreak for this Saturday morning. Parenting Today is up next. Can you control your child's viewing habits, what they read, or what they wear? Find out on CNN's Parenting Today in just a few minutes.
Sunday, deep in the rainforest hides a killer. Can science stop it before it kills hundreds? Again on the next CNN Presents Sunday.
Sprint Sense International gives you great rates to countries all over the world. What more could you want?
How about some cash?
Cash would be good. Yes, some cash back.
Good point. Presenting Sprint Sense International with something new, cash back. Call now for these simply great rates on calls to countries all around the world. Plus, get rewarded with 10% cash back for every dollar you spend.
For me, that would be at least $100 a year.
So call now for just 50 cents a minute to these countries in Europe, 65 cents to these countries in Asia,